And we are live. Hi, everyone, to another episode of the Substack Writer Salon. And today I have with me a Substack strategist. Her name is Carrie Loranger, and she helps creators and solopreneurs grow on Substack and turn one newsletter into multiple income streams. All right, Carrie. So nice to see you here. I'm excited to talk about Substack, since you're the expert, Substack growth, Substack strategies. All right. So my understanding from your bio, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that you were in the corporate world and then you went into the solopreneurship. Is that correct?
Exactly, yes. I had an
Okay.
18-year career in the corporate world.
Okay. And what was the spark that made you pivot and go to that, let's say, unconventional route, a pathless path, and a risky path? What made you take that leap of faith?
Yeah, so, it's a bit of a story, but I had a health scare,
Mm-hmm.
and I traveled I went on vacation to Morocco and, must have eaten some bad food or something, and I got sick. I had, like, a stomach ailment like you get when you travel, except by the time I got home, I could hardly walk, and I had something called Guillain-Barré syndrome. I became paralyzed from the waist down, and my hands were not working either. I was in the hospital for a couple of months. I had to learn to walk again. I had to learn to do everything again, and it just made me take inventory of my life. Yeah, I reprioritized everything. So I decided, what I really wanted was not necessarily this prestigious title and this big paycheck. I really wanted more time with my kids. I wanted to travel more if I could. Um, and I just wanted more control over my time because I really felt like the job and the work had been getting really stressful for me. Just working for someone else, being at a desk for 9, 10 hours a day, it was taking its toll on my body. So that's what kind of pushed me over the edge. Um, It did take me a few years after I recovered from that illness to make the decision, but, one thing I had in my favor was that I had side hustles while I was working, and I was able to stash away a lot of money in order to support myself if my side hustle idea didn't or if my business idea didn't take off. Luckily, it did. So, that's how I landed where I am today.
Okay, so what was your business idea?
My business idea was originally to help people, and I still do this today. I have services that I offer to help people with email marketing, and also like local SEO and just visibility. Then I launched that into kind of what I call my passion, which is helping people who maybe were in my situation where they couldn't work anymore, or maybe they've been laid off. I wanted to make sure that I could do something to give back. I wanted to help people who needed to get away from a 9 to 5 job, build something that they could, you know, rely on if they couldn't work full time anymore. And I decided that the easiest way to do that was to start a newsletter because just then the newsletter business was taking off. Um, it was really becoming a big thing, and then we have Substack now, that's really helping, creators with that.
Okay, so you have what? I mean, looking at your Substack, was it like 11,000? No, you have 7,000 almost 8,000 subscribers. How
Yeah.
did how did you man and how
Mm.
long did it take you to get that many subscribers? And what were the tricks that helped you grow?
Yeah, sure. So when I first got on Substack, it was December, 2024, and I had lost all of my I lost 2 businesses on the Meta platforms. A lot of people did at this time. They implemented an automated system that was detecting, bad accounts, and somehow it detected mine as a not legitimate account. I lost everything. I lost 2 businesses on I lost Instagram, Facebook, Threads, my ads account, everything was gone. So I had to start over from scratch. And I chose to start on Substack because I found out it's it's great for monetizing and you own your audience on Substack.
Mm.
So I was on there for about 3 months. I think I went December, January, February, nothing. I had 11 subscribers at the end of those 3 months, and I'm thinking, "Wow, I'm really doing something wrong," and I was frustrated because, I had this long career in marketing. I'm a smart person. I should be able to figure this out. So I started just I started digging into what people were doing who were successful, and I just studied everything I could. I spent about a month studying and pivoting and building and came up with a system that worked for me. And then I started just growing like crazy. I think within 90 days, I had 3,000 subscribers. And then within 6 months, I had 5,800. And here I am at almost 8,000 a year later from that
Oh,
first effort. So.
so what was your secret formula, if you can share it with us?
It's not I it's I would say it's not intuitive, but it's not secret either. I share it actually on my homepage. I have a whole, um, like a whole piece, a long piece on how to use notes, because when you get on the platform, you don't know, but it involves being visible all the time. Once I figured out that Notes is a discovery engine for Substack writers, that's when things kicked into gear. I started posting notes. At first, I was very inconsistent. I did, every other day, every, sometimes twice a day. And I just kept going like that. And I started my chat. Nobody responded in my chat when I first started for a long time, but I didn't care. I just kept posting questions, starting new threads. And pretty soon, a few people joined, and then it just grew. Same with recommendations and notes. I forged ahead. I didn't take no results as rejection. I just took it as data. Like I was doing something that wasn't working and I needed to try something different in that moment.
Hmm. So it's your mindset, right? I mean, your mindset is you don't look at it as failure, but as collecting data. How did you develop this mindset? Were you always like this, or this is some sort of
Um, well, I'm pretty data driven because in my marketing career we use data all the time. People think marketing is about, making pretty pictures and things, but it's not. It's about data when you're in a marketing, like a director
mm,
role. So and I'm a sensitive person, so I would have taken that type of silence as rejection personally years ago. But I don't know how it happened or when it happened. I just came to realize that Substack gives you so much data for a reason, and it's telling you what's working and what's not working. So you really just need to be looking at your data. So if I had in the beginning, I published maybe, I don't know, 30 notes and none of them got anything, not even a like, not even a comment, or maybe an occasional like, but that was it. And then I figured out, well, I should be following people. I should be finding people in my space who I want to work with. And then when I started following them, they started following me or maybe subscribing if they liked what I had put together on my homepage. And it just kind of snowballed from there. So,
hmm. So you think notes is the number one thing to do to grow on Substack? Because I'm gonna play the devil's advocate because that's my job as a journalist. But do you think notes is the main engine for growth?
I do. And I'll tell you why, because I have data.
Okay, so alright, prove
I mean, I think
show me the data. Tell me, why do you think notes is the number one engine?
at one point it was responsible for more about 71% of my growth. Today it's responsible for about 43% of my growth.
Mm, okay.
So
And Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you what my experience has been. I mean, I'm not like a huge creator on Substack. I have like 5,000, so let's say it's small compared to many others. But what I noticed personally, yeah, notes, I get likes and whatever, and some people follow from notes. But what I realized, at least for me personally, maybe because I'm kind of capitalizing on my strength, is that going live has been the number one growth engine for me. And the reason for that is whether it's live with other creators or going live on my Substack hours, the reason for that is people actually see you on video, they feel your energy, they realize you're real, that your whatever content you produce is not generated by AI, and you're like someone who's real, with like with an accent, with whatever, and that for me kind of tripled my growth. And so if I ask you how would you feel about that, and going live versus notes, where
Uh,
do you stand?
I will say that lives are my number 2, and
Okay.
it absolutely will accelerate my growth if
Okay.
I go live on a consistent basis. How often do you go live?
Sometimes I used to go twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, and that can be a mix of me interviewing people and then people interviewing me and going office hours, which is
Mm.
and I haven't been doing that much because I have a good problem, which is I have a lot of client work, so I've been kinda, buried in the client work, to organize this, but this month I'm just like, regardless, I'm gonna squeeze it in and try to go back to at least going live 3 times a week, because especially now with AI, there's so many tools that you can just churn notes, forever. You can churn 100 notes a day, right? But and then maybe you can tell me we have to have different types of notes. But I feel that the personalization of Substack really happens when you go live. Like when people see me, when you see like my messy hair, my gray roots that I still need to dye, like all of that stuff is it makes you real, right? And people will follow you because they like you, not only
Yeah,
because they like your content. You have to be also likable.
of
So what
course, of
what
course.
what would your answer be to this?
I absolutely agree that it's super valuable. Um, I love lives because I don't have to edit them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Video editing is tough for me. I don't know why, but it just takes a lot of time, and you're doing little micro things, and I just don't have patience. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, no, I agree. Lives are powerful, and right now, I would say my notes growth has slowed down in the last couple weeks. So probably I'm going to try something different here very shortly, and maybe it's going live. We have the new Substack recording studio now,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
amazing, and I tested it out on the weekend with Dhiraj Sharma. I don't know if you know him, but he's just brilliant. We worked on an automation together to create YouTube thumbnails using N8N, an automation, and I'm gonna be putting out an article about that this
Oh,
week.
nice.
But, yeah, I tested it out, it works pretty well. The quality was really good, so, yeah, I think, that's going to give people opportunities to, um, really just do YouTube style videos, by yourself. You could share your desktop. It worked really well, so I'll be probably testing that out because you don't have to edit the video
So what
unless you
is
want.
the okay, for those who don't know about the Substack Studio, if you can explain that to me. I'm a bit actually confused between the Substack Studio and what I'm doing now. So I'm going live on
Yeah.
Substack using my desktop. Now they added the feature to schedule from the desktop, because before I couldn't schedule from the desktop and I had to like switch between my phone and desktop, and it was like there was a lot of friction. So can you explain to us what is that Substack Studio, and what are the features, and what the difference between what I am doing now? And I'm not in a studio, am I? I mean, if you can just explain
You're
explain this to me.
you're in the live streaming studio. So we are streaming live, like, people can join, they can ask questions when
Okay.
you're in. Yeah, so we're live, like, right
Mm.
now, people are seeing us in real time. When you use the recording studio, you record with, like, you do it with someone or by yourself. I think you can add up to 2 other people. So you
Okay.
could do something with 3 people. You record that and then you release it when you want to. And
Okay.
you could also download it and edit it if you'd like, but I don't like editing, so, but the quality is really good, in the recording studio from what I've seen.
So the
So
studio is basically just to record before going live. It's basically recording and then posting it. But the going live is we are in the live studio portion of the studio. Correct.
right,
Okay.
yeah.
Got it.
And the cool thing is that you could, I don't know, it's nice because you and I could be doing this in recording studio right now, and we could add another person, and it's just a nice clean format that you don't have to worry about editing.
And what happens after we record it? The studio itself would create the shorts and all of that.
Yes, it does.
Ah,
And it will
okay.
also do the auto publishing to your podcast, to YouTube, all the things that the live does, but just, you could save it as a draft and release it when you're ready. So the live I did with Diraj, we're gonna put an article around that demonstration. We're gonna give them the the workflow free, in the post that we co-author. It's just a way to collaborate.
I see. Okay, so I want to go back to notes, and I'm gonna ask you from all the data that you collected, since you're the data queen, what are what are the notes that perform well in 2026?
Okay, so some of the note types that perform really well are what I call the generosity note, and that's where you help someone else. You probably have seen these notes. They used to be more popular than they are now, but that's where you tell somebody, hey, if you're, and then you say in a certain category. Okay, so you could do if you're new, if you are, a mom of 3 kids, whatever it is that you want to say. Um, I'm here to support you. Drop your publication below, and I'll take a look and do what I can to support you. Something like that. Substack is a very friendly place in general, and helping someone else grow who's just coming on and figuring it out will help you grow as well. The next type would be what I call a quick win. So these are things that somebody can do really fast in a minute or less. It's, hey, turn on this setting, run this prompt, do this thing really fast, and they'll get some tremendous value from whatever it is that you're asking them to do. Those work really well. Sharing stories, very powerful. And they get sharing stories will get a ton of comments as well. When I talk about my experience, being laid off from that Fortune 500 company after 10 years of devoted service at a high level, people share their stories about being laid off. And that's how you start to build relationships. And those relationships build trust. And that's where you find partners to collaborate with, to do lives like we did. I probably started with a comment on one of your posts or something.
Mm,
I don't recall. But, um, the relationships on Substack are just unlike any other platform. I've made more friends here than I've ever made on social media.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. I actually went last week. I was in Baltimore to help another creator, another fellow ghostwriter, set up like work at her booth, like man her booth. and we only met on Substack. So she knew I'm in close to Baltimore, and it's like, yeah, sure, I'd love to meet you and love to help. So spend the whole day in Baltimore, like collaborating, meeting others, and it was fun. And that was really that we met on actually on Substack. It was the
Yeah,
first
I
time we
mean,
met.
I'm gonna go to Scotland hopefully later this year, and I have a short list of friends I've made over in Scotland that I'm gonna go visit.
Oh wow, this is great.
Dr. Sam Illingworth, he's over there. Um, let's see, Derek Hughes. I don't
Oh
think he's in
yeah,
Scotland, but he's in the UK. But, you know, when I go, I'm for sure gonna hit them up and say, "Hey, I'm coming your way. Do you wanna get together?" So I feel
that's
like I respect them so much, and, we have this working relationship that I think it would be fun.
that's nice.
Yeah,
Okay, so do you use tools, like third-party tools to schedule notes or to look at
I do.
analytics? What do you use?
I use WriteStack,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
uh, do you use WriteStack as
Yeah,
well?
I'm a big fan of Stack. I actually
I
interviewed the
mean
founder here on yeah. Uh,
yeah, you know the founder as well, Orel?
yeah,
He's
I had a live Substack with him here, and we
okay,
chatted about yeah, yeah.
yeah. Um, yeah, he's a young guy, brilliant guy, always improving the tool based on feedback from his users. Um, yeah, I just love it. I think it's the best tool out there. Not even a year ago, less than a year ago, about 8 months ago, I started testing tools, and his by far was the best. And I don't know if things have changed now. There could be others out there that are equally as good, but I'm a big fan of WriteStack.
Hmm. Yeah, me too. Okay, so I want to talk about. I think the title of this chat was "How to Make Income from Substack." So let's talk about money, and
Yeah.
let's say how you can. I'm gonna tell you how I monetize mine, and for anyone who's listening. So when I first started Substack, I was not in it for making any money. I thought it's just a nice community and whatever. And then lo and behold, someone became a paid subscriber. I was like, where did this come from? That was like my first experience. And then um one paid became more than whatever, and now I have 11, which I know it's a small number, but it takes time to grow. And the other thing is consulting, coaching. So a number of my book coaching clients come through Substack. And another thing is I sell some of my digital products occasionally. Maybe I should spend more time on Substack that I'm spending, but again, it's catch 22 because I have to do my client work as well. But so let's hear you and say, especially now in 2026, and the platform is changing rapidly. Now you just mentioned the release of the Substack Studio. How can you monetize all the effort that you put on Substack in 2026? And the second question is a follow-up question: can you do this full time? So let's start with the first.
Yeah, I mean, I do it full time now, and I'm making a living. So you can definitely
You make a living from Substack?
not entirely from Substack, but mm, it's my engine that drives everything else. So, like you, I have clients that I work with and help
Okay.
them build portfolio businesses. So the only thing I do and teach, I'm pretty single minded. It's kind of the analytical thinker in me, but I am very focused on just helping people secure their financial future by building multiple income streams. That's it. I call it a portfolio of paychecks. Um, and I have done that for myself. I help other people do that. And I really believe in it with a deep passion because of the fact that I was laid off, the fact that I had a health challenge, the fact that I couldn't work anymore. I think a lot of people are faced with that. So that's my big why behind what I do. But in terms of the revenue model itself, yes, I have subscribers. I revised my paid subscribing tiers this year. The founding member is called now the Creator Cash Flow Club. And this is for real serious creators who want to build these multiple income streams. I offer a monthly coaching call with that. They get access to my Substack 360 course about building the business. So that's my founding member tier, and they love the monthly coaching calls. So I've taken some of what I might have offered, um, as like a cohort or a program or a course and put it into my founding member tier. Now, I still do offer boot camps and workshops. I just finished my digital product in a day workshop where I help people actually build their first digital product or their next digital product. I sell digital products as well. I have a whole store on Gumroad. Um, I have some done with you services. I have I do a Substack audit, and I also have the Substack setup sprint where I help people who are new and want to figure this out get set up properly for conversions. So, and then I have a clarity call. Yeah. So I have my live events, my done with you services. I have done for you services for people who need help, just want it done. I do that as well. So that's kind of the revenue model. I think that's everything.
Okay, so let's say I come to you and now we're gonna do a free live consulting session, and you're gonna tell me, okay, I'm gonna tell you, hey, I'm new to Substack. I've been posting. How can I turn this into my one of my biggest income streams? What would you? And I need like a roadmap, if you like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, well, the roadmap is very individualized, of course. But, the first thing we're going to look at, I would say, is your messaging. Is your messaging clear?
Okay.
Is it clear what you do? Some people believe me, it sounds so easy. Yes, I'm clear about what I do. I do this, that, and the other thing. That's 3 things. That's not clear. That's not one thing that you help people achieve. So if you wanna make money monetizing your knowledge or coaching or whatever it is, you need to be very clear on the outcome you help that person achieve. And if you're looking for paid subscribers to your newsletter, same thing. Your newsletter has to be really clear about what people are going to get. What's the transformation or the outcome by subscribing? So that's the foundation. We build the foundation first. Yeah.
And then, okay, we build the foundation. Then how can I
Okay, we
start?
built the foundation.
Okay.
And then we just look at, it's different. Like I said, it's really hard to say. It's different for everybody. Like I work with a real estate agent. She's got a whole business off of Substack. So we're using the newsletter in a different way. She's only doing a free version, but she's kind of using it across multiple platforms, some of the content as sort of driving business for her real estate business. You see, so it depends on
Mm,
the model. But beyond your messaging, we're going to look at your homepage. Is that set up for conversions? Is it well branded? Does it look put together? Or is it just kind of haphazard and messy? Um, is it obvious what people, if they like what they see on your homepage, how they can work with you? What's the logical next step? Is
mm,
that clear on your homepage?
mm,
And then we're going to look at your offers. Well, we're going to look at your pricing tiers as well. What are you offering behind the paywall for your pricing tiers? And is that something that people are actually telling you they're willing to pay for, or something you just think they're willing to pay for? Because there's a big difference. Um, and then beyond that, we would go into the content itself. What's your weekly content cadence? And then, there's some very advanced stuff, looking at the data and analytics, of course, and um, building out the different revenue streams that are right for you in your business.
mm. Okay. So where is Substack going in 2026 and beyond? I mean, there's been a lot of changes I've seen in Substack since just in a year, from
Oh,
lives to just so where and you don't have a crystal ball, I know, but where do you think is that if you wanna just predict or um foresee? Where do you think we're going as a Substack in terms of the growth, in terms of the feature, in terms of the overall positioning of the platform compared to other platforms?
Yeah, I mean, to me, Substack is the ultimate creator platform, right? It has everything. It has recommendations. It has short form in the form of notes, long form newsletter, revenue monetization tools. Now we had the live streams, like you said, that's evolved. Now we have recording studio. I think probably the next area we're going to see improving is some of the email features on Substack. I really feel like that's coming. I know they were beta testing some email automations last year. I haven't heard anything about that since it's been maybe 6 or more months since they released that. They were just testing it with some creators. So I did find out what that looked like, but I think if they introduce some more email tools, that's going to help keep a lot of people working from the platform. For example, right now, my subscribers, I've set up an automation to send them over to my CRM. And once they get there, then I can add them to an email sequence. So Substack just gives you that first welcome email. But what happens after that? You can, sure, you can email them your newsletter, but what if you want to communicate about your other offers? It's very difficult to do in Substack in an you can't do it in an automated fashion. You have to do one-off emails. So that type of thing will be very useful for creators. Right now, I do feel like Substack is trying to build the ultimate creator platform tool. I think they might at some point introduce some AI features as well, like for helping you with content. I'm not sure about that, but I think it wouldn't surprise me if that's coming as well. Maybe not this year, but it would be something that would be useful to many people.
Okay. What CRM do you use? What are the tools that you use?
My tools
Yeah.
that I
Like
use,
yeah.
um, I use, you know what? Well, I use Stack, of course. I've recently started using a tool called Whisperflow
Mm.
that helps me actually speak my responses to people in the comments. I refuse anything that's one-to-one engagement. I will not use AI ever. I just don't believe in that, because like you said, you need to show your personality, right? And if we're talking about writing and we get some kind of AI words in there, people are gonna be like, they pick that up. So I like to just speak my responses to people. Um, and then I'm sorry,
Your
what were you
CRM
asking?
and your CRM. You said that you send
Oh, my CRM, yeah, I use Go High Level for my landing pages, my CRM, my email marketing, my pipelines, all of that. Also for my revenue generated from digital products, some of that, but not all flows into there, so I can keep track of everything, and I also use that, obviously, for selling my off-platform services, and, offers.
Mm. And is that where do you sell your courses? Also on a high level?
Yeah, I mean, my courses are built in high level right now. My next group cohort, I'm going to test out a different platform and probably test out School. It seems a little more user friendly, but like my paid members get access to my creator tool vault. That's all built within Go High Level.
Mm. Okay. And what do you offer in that vault?
Tons of stuff. That's where all the like free videos and master classes are. It's a lot of how to information, guides, some of templates, um, pretty much any kind of tool that they need to build their Substack up to a point where they're ready to generate revenue. And then even some, templates and email templates and things like that for building out the revenue model.
Hmm. I see. Okay. Um. uh, so, in terms of making income on Substack, if I want to divide it, I would say paid membership, selling offers, and selling your digital products. Is there anything else I'm missing?
Done with you.
Which
Done
is
with
what?
you services.
Which
Pardon?
is what? Which is what? Like
My
coaching?
Substack well, an example of that is my Substack setup sprint. I work with them. I have 4 sessions. We work together and set up their everything, their homepage, their paywalls, their emails, about page, welcome page, everything. We do that together.
Mhm. Okay, and who are the let's say the Substack rock stars that inspire you, that you follow religiously, that you collaborate with, that you like to copy and steal
I
from?
mean, I oh, let's see. I there's a lot in my space, but there's also a lot out of my space. I think I mentioned Dr. Sam Illingworth. I think he's brilliant. He talks about being careful with AI because it can get you in hot water. I totally agree with everything he writes. So he's one I've done lives with. Derek Hughes, definitely. He and I have done lives. We kind of started around the same time at the same subscriber count. So we've been in parallel paths more or less in our journeys, which is nice. Um, I do a lot with Sinem and Yari and that team over there. They use my content in their newsletter for the creator economy. So I check in on them occasionally. Right now my big concern is AI is changing so fast. How can solo creators keep up? Because solo creators need to automate things. Otherwise, you're going to be doing everything and you don't scale. So I've been trying to kind of collaborate and work with some, like I mentioned, Diraj Sharma. Um, Charlie Hills is fabulous. He'll show you how to do things with AI. So those are kind of the things that I watch because right now, once you get to a certain point, you have to scale and a certain percentage of your business has to run on autopilot.
Mm. What do you make run on autopilot for you? What are your
Um,
automation?
yeah,
Mm.
I mean, well, my automations for content, or what I mean by autopilot is that the income is more or less passive. So digital products are a great example of that. They go on my store, I talk about them in my articles, and I get paid without doing anything else, right? I created it, I put it on the digital store, I mentioned it, and I gave a link. That's it. I don't have to spend a lot of time marketing and selling that. Same thing with affiliate links. I would only promote affiliate tools that I use. I don't believe in promoting things that I don't use and love. So, those affiliates can start earning money. Uh, and again, that's not a lot of energy I have to do beyond just mentioning it and talking about it. So those are examples of what I'm saying. They have to kind of earn money on autopilot for you.
Hmm. Okay, so we have few minutes and we have around 54 people live. And if anyone wants to ask questions, please feel free. Meanwhile, I'm going to read some of the comments here just to make this chat more interactive. There's Lynn Williams who says, Carrie's Substack trainings are great. I'm still a newbie and a WIP. What's a WIP?
Work in
Work in
progress.
progress. Okay, all right.
Yeah, Lynn is one of my I have a weird I feel like they're friends, right? When I help them, but she's a
Yeah.
client and I've helped her. She runs a nonprofit and she's trying to save her nonprofit literally with getting some Substack subscribers. And so I'm kind of helping her with that process. And she's an amazing individual. If you haven't followed Lynn Williams, she's here on Substack. Great
Ah, great.
person.
Then we have the strategy signal. I have not thought about going live. I can see the benefits, squeezing it where you can. The personalization of live stands out greater than notes. I agree with you, the strategy signal.
I totally
Okay.
agree too.
What else? There is Kanershin, I hope I pronounce your name correctly, says, maybe merge is gonna take place in time. I mean, merge products. Okay. And then I have a question from Kimberly Jeanette. How do notes really work when you are small?
When you're small, how do notes work? That's a question.
Mm-hmm.
The same
Yeah.
way? I mean, yeah. Um,
I think what she means is how do you actually grow your notes
Try
when
the
small,
generosity note. That's the first thing I would do is try the generosity note.
which is if you can remind us what that is.
Is what?
If
The
you can remind us what the generosity
yeah,
note is.
call out your audience, you know? I have one going right now that says, "If you're over 40, dot, dot, dot," because people over 40 are particularly vulnerable to layoffs, and I wanna
Mm,
help them now before that happens to build their revenue stream through a newsletter that can lead to many other things and secure their financial future. Yeah,
okay.
call out your audience, Kimberly.
Okay.
Kimberly's one of my paid members, I believe.
Ah, okay. Great, great. Well, any final thoughts before we conclude? Any like thoughts on how you can shine on Substack?
Um, be authentic. One of my favorite places on Substack is my chat. We didn't talk about that, but
Oh, can you?
I've
We can have few minutes. If you can tell us how because you, I have the same issue with chat, and I kind of gave up on it. Which is, I use chat like nobody responds, and I was
oh,
like, and then sometimes people respond few here and there. But how do you use chat, and why we should not give up on chat like what I did
that's a
here?
great place to start being generous. Teach them something, share something valuable, help them grow in some way through your chat. So, um, last week I did something. I said, "Hey, let's find other people to recommend." Just
Mm,
write a sentence about what your Substack is about and, maybe find some other collaborators. And I got 97 comments in that thread. They were chatting to each other and talking. That's a generosity uh, thread, right? We're helping
mm.
people do more, connect with others in their field. Yeah, that was, that kind of thing is what you do. I asked them what they are working on, what they're struggling with, what they want more of. It's like it's like my community. It's like my tribe. The same
Mm.
people show up, plus new people. Um, and it's just really enjoyable to see everything unfold in that chat. It's just like a little community.
And
I
do you
love it.
have it open for everyone, free and paid?
Yeah, I tried doing the paid only and I didn't get enough paid people dropping in comments to make it really robust. And I want it to be really robust. So right now I'm just keeping it free.
How often do you use chat?
Well, once a week, twice a week at this
Mm,
moment. There was a time when I was doing it 5 days a week. That was a lot because some of these threads live on for days, especially the one that I talked about, the recommend, connect and recommend thread that went on for days. So I was just thinking yesterday, hey, I need to put up a new one for this week. So, yeah.
okay, so we have Matt Ray who says, "Was there ever a time when you posted something on chat and just got crickets?"
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. For months, probably. Um, so let's see. When you create the thread, I believe the thread also goes to notes. So that's why you need to be following people and they'll follow you back. You want people to see that thread posted in the notes.
Yeah.
So you get new people coming in.
You can also send the chat thread via email. Are you
Yeah, you
for?
know what? I'll
Yeah.
tell you when I do that, I get so many unsubscribes. People don't it's not formatted nicely. It doesn't even
Mhm.
look like me. I think they think it's spam, to be honest. Have you ever seen
Ah,
what those look like? They look
okay.
Yeah, they look terrible.
Huh.
And my subscribers probably go, "Well, that's not Carrie. That doesn't look like what she publishes." They probably think it's a bot or something. So I don't do that, but you
Interesting.
certainly could try it.
Okay. I tried it, and yeah, I think I also got unsubscribes after I tried it, but it's
Yeah, you
it's the game of iteration, we just try and see what
oh, yeah.
works. So, because Matt says he's anxious about starting a chat thread and getting no responses.
Just keep going.
Okay.
Ask different things. Okay, so that one didn't pique people's interest. You've learned from that. That's a data point. Try
Mm,
something different. Try a different angle, try a different approach. Generosity always works for me. I mean, that's what finally worked for me, to be honest.
okay.
Look at other creators in your space, see how they're using their chat. That will give you some ideas, right, on what's resonating with people. If you see that they've has something in their chat that got a lot of activity, that's a clue to you.
Mm, yeah, that's great. All right. So we've we've been talking for almost an hour now, and I promised you half an hour, but you have a lot to say.
I
Um,
always
no, in a good
you
way.
could
In a
tell I'm
good.
very passionate about this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I really
yeah.
believe
Yeah.
everybody needs multiple income streams, employed or not, because things change so fast in the
Correct.
economy.
Especially now with AI and people losing their jobs right, left, and center.
Mhm.
Um, so how can people reach you? How can they subscribe to your newsletter? What if this is your plug right here? So feel free to tell them how they can reach
Yeah,
you.
so I can put it in the chat. The best way is just to go to, um, Thrive with Carrie, thrivewithcarrie.substack.com, and that's where you'll find me. Um, you can go to my DM and message me. That's my preferred method, honestly.
Mm,
Um, Paid subscribers get faster responses in my DMs, and my founding tier, the Creator Cash Flow Club, will also get my full attention because I know they're probably putting something together, building something, and they need help with it immediately. So they're priority.
yeah,
But
this
yeah,
is
that's
great.
where you can reach me.
This is great. Well, thank you very much, Kay, for your time. I know you're a very busy woman, and I took a lot of your time. And thank you for the 61 people that joined us today. We enjoyed having you today. It's a big group, actually. I think I'm sure they all came for you, Carrie, not for me. So
I don't know about that, Natasha.
I'm glad, I'm glad you have those 61 people here. And thank you for joining us for another episode of Substack Writer Salon. And I'm going to turn this into as well a post that will go into my newsletter, and we'll have the shorts everywhere. So, yeah, thank you so much. And looking forward to more collaboration. And enjoy the rest of the day. And until we meet again. Ciao, everybody.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much,
Thank you.
Natasha. Take care,
Take care.
everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.